All right, guys. I've already covered in the past about how the U.S. is cracking down on freedom of speech. And actually, it's very illegal what they've done. And they've tried to skirt it and act like it's a matter of national defense. But the truth is that they're fucking paid off by AIPAC and other pro Israeli organizations. So in the United States, they've claimed that, like, completely peaceful protesters have made Jewish students not feel safe with absolutely no evidence, zero evidence. Uh, and you don't see this anywhere else. Like you have like protests where frickin' like literally, like not even exaggerating, literal KKK members are like out in the street talking about how get black people and or whatever, any sort of immigrants or any sort of other non-white ethnicity, get them out of the United States. That's literal, like, direct hatred, direct, uh like you can call that hate speech and it be accurate, and everything's good. It's gravy. It's fucking just another day in America. But whenever people are peacefully protesting, and we've seen various videos in the past of, like, you'll hear this narrative that, like, pro-Palestinian violent protesters, and it'll show like a fight, and then you, like, look at the full video, not the little edited or like clipped version, and you'll see that it was actually like pro-Israeli people that started the entire thing. You see this over and over and over again. It's like hilarious at this point. But anyway, it seems like it's not just the United States. It's not often that I really delve into events outside of the United States. I have a little bit with Gaza, um, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now. But specifically, what the government in other countries is doing, and in this case, it's the UK. So I'll link this in the description, but it says Met bans pro Palestine march from gathering outside BBC headquarters. I didn't know what the fuck Met meant. I had to look it up, but it means Metropolitan Police in this instance. Scotland Yard imposes Public Order Act owing to proximity of broadcasting house to a nearby synagogue. Now, this is hilarious bullshittery, but anyway. Scotland Yard has banned a pro Palestine march from gathering outside the BBC's London headquarters next week owing to its proximity to a synagogue. Protesters were planning to gather outside Broadcasting House in Portland Place on Saturday before marching to Whitehall. On Thursday evening, police said they had imposed the Public Order Act to prevent the rally from gathering in the area as it risked causing serious disruption to a nearby synagogue on the Jewish holy day as congregants attend Shabbat services. May have pronounced that wrong. The Metropolitan Police said they had reflected on the views of local community and business representatives, including congregation members at a synagogue, a very short distance from the proposed rally meetup point before reaching its decision. Earlier this week, the force told the protest organizers, the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, to alter their plans in order to avoid disruption to worshippers at the synagogue and had threatened to impose the conditions to stop the rally. In response to the Met's demand, the PSC said on Wednesday it utterly condemned the use of repressive powers. The Palestine Coalition rejects the implication that our marches are somehow hostile to or a threat to Jewish people. The group had said in a previous statement. The Met Police have acknowledged there has not been a single incident of any threat to a synagogue attached to any of the marches. The Central Synagogue on Great Portland Street is a few hundred yards from Broadcasting House on Portland Place. 13 Holocaust survivors and survivor descendants have signed a joint letter to oppose the Met's decision to prevent the march from gathering outside the BBC. Interesting. We are writing as Jewish Holocaust survivors and descendants of survivors to protest against this clear attempt to dissuade people from opposing the Gaza genocide, the letter reads. Along with thousands of other openly Jewish protesters, we have attended numerous Palestine demos in London and have received nothing but support and warmth from our fellow demonstrators. Commander Adam Slonecki, who is leading the policing operation in London that weekend, said the PSC had refused to change their plans and were, quote, continuing to encourage protesters to form up in Portland Place, giving the force no choice but to use the powers available to us. He said police had taken into account the cumulative impact of this prolonged period of protest, with events often taking place on Saturdays and near synagogues. We know this has been a cause of increased concern for many Jewish Londoners who have altered their plans, avoided parts of central London, and reduced attendance at religious services, he said. We police without fear or favor. We police with, oh, We police without fear or favor, and this decision was taken based on a detailed consideration of the evidence, not any outside influence. Some of the media coverage today makes reference to a letter sent to us from MPs and peers raising concerns about this protest. I want to be clear that our position was decided and communicated with the PSC prior to us receiving that letter. It had no impact on our decision making. The PSC has planned to assemble outside the corporation's London headquarters for a march to Whitehall in protest against what organizers had described as the, quote, pro-Israel bias of the BBC's coverage. That is the end of the article. But it's showing yet again this bullshit narrative that, like, it's about protecting the poor Jewish citizens that are in danger of these protesters. And yet again, there's no evidence that they have ever done anything even close to violent. It's always in the other direction. They get attacked by either Jewish people directly or pro-Israel people or the police or government. Always. Every single fucking time that I've seen myself. So they're cracking down on freedom. I don't know exactly what sort of freedom of speech they have in the UK, but this is another fucking example. They have fucking actual fucking Holocaust survivors that are in support of these protests, and these Holocaust survivors are actually there in the protesting with these other people that are against the genocide of fucking Gaza. So it's bullshit. It's absolute fucking bullshit. And I don't even know the scope of this. Is this happening fucking everywhere? Is this happening in fucking Australia? Is it happening? I don't know. But it's fucking clearly bullshit. And I would be willing to bet that fucking AIPAC is paying these fuckers too. Because there's, like, it would be one thing if they had some sort of, like, precedent for it. Like, these peaceful protesters were no longer peaceful and they were fucking attacking Jewish people or blocking their ability to attend synagogue or whatever. But that's never the fucking case because it has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. It has to do with calling out Israel for its fucking bullshit and its attempted genocide of fucking peaceful Palestinian people. That's what it's all about. But they want to frame it as if it's like, oh, this is clearly anti-Semitism. Like, oh, it's reprehensible. You'll see all these fake fucking actors like fucking, what's that fucking dude's name? Piers Morgan. He's one of the worst offenders at this. You can kind of tell which media is real and which is not just based on how they approach this and how they just spew blatant fucking lies. Like Piers Morgan, whenever like all the evidence shows that that's not the case, he's like, it's reprehensible that this level of fucking anti-Semitism, like complete fucking jokes. It's like a straw man. It's fucking pathetic and it's so damn obvious. And everyone should be able to see through this bullshit. Anyway, thank you for your time.